These medals were awarded to Muslims from around the world by the Ottoman Caliphate in the early 1900s. They were inscribed with writing in Ottoman Turkish script such as Al-Ghazi, victorious warrior of Islam, and Hamidiye, praiseworthy. These medals, however, were not awarded for military service. So, why were they awarded, and why did some of them have trains on them? At the beginning of the 20th century, the Ottoman Empire began one of the largest ventures in its history, unbeknown to the Caliphate at the time to be one of its last major projects. This project was the Hamidiye-Hejaz Railway, which aimed to facilitate the Hajj pilgrimage and unite the world's Muslims. The train line, which was ordered by Sultan Abdul Hamid II in 1900, connected Damascus to Medina and cut the time of the once perilous journey from 40 days to just 3. The Damascus-Medina section of the railway was complete by 1908, and the plan was to extend the line north to the Ottoman capital and south to the holy city of Mecca. But the railway's importance to Muslims didn't end there. Apart from funding from the Ottoman state, the rest of the project was financed entirely by donations from the Ummah, and so the route was considered a waqf, or an asset that belonged to all Muslims. The donation campaign began with a contribution of 50,000 lira from the Sultan himself, and most other donations came from the citizens of the Caliphate, but about 1 in 10 came from Muslims outside of Ottoman lands. Fundraising took place all over the world, from Sudan to South Africa, North Africa to North America, and Britain to the Balkans and beyond. Significant support was provided by the Muslims of India, where more than 150 committees were set up to collect donations. The first departure of the Hamidiye-Hejaz Railway took place on August 27, 1908, and it arrived in Medina after 3 days. By 1914, the railway carried around 300,000 passengers per year, and Damascus had become a meeting point for pilgrims from all over the world. But 11 years after its first journey, the Hejaz Railway would make its last. After the outbreak of the First World War, the planned routes from Istanbul to Mecca were never realized, and now, instead of transporting pilgrims, the trains began transporting Ottoman soldiers to the holy city of Medina to defend it from an allied British-Arab takeover. The alliance, assisted by T.E. Lawrence, had captured Mecca, but soldiers led by Fakhreddin Pasha held on to the besieged city of Medina even after the Ottoman surrender and the end of the First World War. The last Hejaz train to leave Medina safely transported Islamic relics out of the city before 12 days of looting began when Medina fell on January 10, 1919. In the following years, the former regions of the Ottoman Empire were carved up by Britain and France, and many sections of the tracks fell into a state of disrepair following years of neglected maintenance. And while today some sections of the track have reopened, like the once borderless nations of the Ottoman Empire that characterized its route, the Hamidiye-Hejaz Railway is now a distant memory.